Poppy Montgomery. Serienfans kennen und lieben sie seit der US-Erfolgsserie Without a Trace. Jetzt hat die charmante Schauspielerin eine neue Show, Unforgettable, die am 11. Oktober in Sat.1 startet. Hier ist der Name Programm. Poppys Serienrolle Carrie Wells kann nichts vergessen. Kein Namen, kein Gesicht, keine Sekunde ihres Lebens. Nur die Ermordung ihrer älteren Schwester hat sie ausgeblendet. Erst mit ihrem neuen Job als Beraterin beim Morddezernat kehren die Erinnerungen langsam wieder zurück. Klingt spannend, na Grund genug, Poppy zum Interview zu treffen und herauszubekommen, was genau denn so unvergesslich an ihrer neuen Serie ist.
Tell us about your new show, Unforgettable. Why should the German audience watch the show?
Well, hopefully, because I'm in it. No, it's actually a really interesting premise. There is a real ability called. It used to be called hyperthymesia. Now it's called highly superior autobiographical memory, and it's people who can literally remember every moment of their lives as though it happened 5 minutes ago. And so my character is a police officer who has this ability and uses it to solve crimes. And it's got a lot of great special effects, a lot of great mysteries. It's a very strong, kick-ass female character. She's tough and she's driven and she's unusual for a television character, you know, and being a woman, I get to do a lot of the stuff that the boys do. So it's got all elements. Dylan Walsh is in it from Nip Tuck and he's amazing. It's just a really good group.
Mm-hmm. What was the most challenging part for the role? It's very special.
Oh, well, I think the long days was really the hardest. And we shot in New York and my son and I live in LA, so I had to be away from him a lot. But we were working 20 hours a day sometimes. And adjusting to that schedule was challenging for sure. But, you know, you get used to it and it was really fun to do. That might have been the hardest part for me.
How did you prepare for it?
Well, I met with Mary Lou Henner and I did a lot of research. Just, you know, there's not that much information about the ability around, so I had to kind of piece together what I could, what they know about it. It's a new thing that they've discovered. So I talked to Mary Lou Henner, the actress from Taxi, who actually, sorry, my hair keeps getting caught, who actually has the ability, and I asked her what it was like, and then I kind of pieced it together myself and did my best to make my own character, you know. I've played a police officer on Without a Trace for 7 years, so I was already familiar with that part, and I know how to handle a gun and shoot a gun, a fake gun, not a real gun. I'm really scared of real guns. I don't shoot real guns at all. I went to a shooting range once, and I don't think I even hit the board that the target was attached to, so I'm just not good with that. But I know how to look like I know what I'm doing. Yeah, so I was pretty familiar with being a cop, part of it.
Okay, so was it then frightening or exciting to be on a completely new show after that?
I mean, it's both, for sure. You know, it's always frightening because you want the new one to do well and be received well, and Without a Trace was such a big hit that I wanted Unforgettable to have the same success. And, you know, it did really, really well in its first year, which was so exciting, and I was so grateful to all the fans who watched and keep watching, and it's both. It's an exciting, scary time, you know, and I love it. And Niels Arden Oplev, who directed the European Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, directed the pilot. So he sort of set the tone for the whole show, and he's just phenomenal. You know, he's an extraordinary director.
Was it a conscious choice to change the color of the hair?
Yeah, I mean, I was a redhead as a kid, and somehow I got stuck as a blonde for 7 years on Without a Trace. I did the pilot, I had blonde hair, and then it was a big hit, and the show went on for 7 years, and I couldn't change my hair color, so I was blonde, and as soon as the show was done, I was like, I'm going back to red, and then I was red, and then I was red. I change my hair color like most people change their underwear. I literally change it. Anytime I get bored, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to change my hair color. Now it's kind of a blonde. I don't even know what this color is. It's ombre, I think they call it. That's my new look. So we'll see how long this one lasts. It's blonde and red. Yeah, well. I get the best of both worlds.
Back to Unforgettable.
Yeah.
Carrie and Elle, they're amazing. They have amazing energy. Can you tell us how it will develop?
Well, I mean, I think they're in love with each other. I don't know that you're ever going to see them get back together quickly, but I think they'll have, moments where they come together and then separate and fight and then kiss. That's what I like to see. I like to see them, how much they love each other, but they both are very strong characters, and so they fight a lot. So they never end up staying together, but they're very attracted to each other. So of course they work that part in too.
Maybe in the second season.
Maybe in the second season it gets hot and heavy. That's what.
Can you tell us something about the second?
I have not read any of the scripts yet. I don't actually start shooting that until January, so I haven't seen anything. But I have lots of imagination about what the second season is going to be. I think we may see them out of Queens, which is where it's set, and moving into Manhattan, the city, to use Carrie's special abilities. So that's going to be fun.
And do you think, or maybe you have the imagination, that Carrie will track down her sister's killer?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. I thought that was resolved in the first season, and then it turned out that it wasn't. And so I don't even know. I want to know I'm like, I have no idea. I can't, it's not even like I'm keeping a secret. I think they don't tell me because I can't keep a secret. And if I knew, I would probably tell everybody. So the writers have not told me who it is either. And I want to know. Every script, I'm like, do I find out? Do I get to find out? So far, I don't know anything.
In the past couple of months, they were quite a wild ride with CBS. Canceling
and then picking up again. And
what were you feeling?
Look, I've been doing television series since I was 19 years old. And I have a very philosophical view about it, which is if it's meant to be, it is gonna be. And if it's not, then that's okay too. That's something else is coming along that is more right. And I think that it was difficult for CBS because there's so much talent in the television world now. I mean, extraordinary writers, Martin Scorsese, people are really competing for space on the air. And I think that it can be a very hard decision every year to make. So I don't question it, and I don't ever understand it. I just say, okay, great, either way, and we had about 12 million viewers a week in the U.S. on Unforgettable, so I think that was part of why it was a hard show to let go of. And CBS was always very supportive of it, but they had a lot of great stuff for their new seasons too. So, and they're blessed with being so successful that all of their shows do well. So they've got a tough time picking new shows, I think.
Yeah. What was the most fun playing in Carrie Wells?
I like the action stuff. I like it when I get to swing off of buildings and jump off the roof of cars and pretend shoot the bad guys and all of that stuff. It's like I'm a 5-year-old. I get to do all the stunts and stuff, and I really enjoy that part.
Do you special training or sports?
No, I always hurt myself. I'm always bruised and beaten up. The real dangerous, cool stuff is done by my stunt doubles. Like, one of my stunt doubles really did hang off with one arm a 7-story building. And then with me, they do the part where I'm hanging from the ceiling in like a harness and a green screen. But I even like doing those little parts. But the stunt crew on our show is pretty extraordinary, what they can do.
Do you think that the hyperthemesia, oh my god, what a word.
I know, right? I can't say it, and I'm supposed to have it. I was like, I
tried it.
I know.
20 times.
I know, I'm with you. It's like it's difficult.
Hard.
Yeah, hyperthymesia. I know.
Hyperthemesia,
It's perfect. Yeah.
Do you think it's a gift or a curse?
I mean, I think depending on who the person is, I think it is actually probably a little bit of both. For me, it would probably be not a great thing. I wouldn't. Every fight I had with my mother, I would never let her forget it. And I would never forget it, which means I'd always be in a bad mood. Yeah, I think it's probably both. I think it's a blessing and a curse.
Have you tried to remember, in your normal day, to remember
stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it never works. I can barely remember my phone number, to be honest with you. Sometimes I forget my own phone number.
Oh, okay.
And I tell this story. I was on set one time. I had my sunglasses on my head. I spent an hour looking for them. So I'm that person.
And nobody told you?
I don't think anyone really noticed. I think we were all so tired at that point. I was like, has anyone seen? Yeah, so my memory is selective at best.
Okay. So you've played a few cops now. What do you think? Would you make a good one?
No, I'm a big wussy. I'd run away.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would run away. I'd be like, it's okay, you robbed the bank, I'm going this way. I can do it on TV, but I have so much respect for the people who actually do it every day and really take their lives into their hands. I mean, I think it's a very intense, dangerous, high-risk job, and I'm okay when I get to do it and they say, action, cut. But I don't think I'm as brave as the people who are really doing it. I think that they are much more fearless than I am.
Have you talked to them, police officers?
Yeah, no, definitely. And when we started Without a Trace, I spent a lot of time with the FBI agents because we played FBI. They took me out to the shooting range to train me so that I looked like I knew what I was doing. A lot of really fascinating stories, you know, of cases that they'd experienced. Really some scary stuff. And in New York, Jimmy is our on-set advisor, and he's with Brooklyn Homicide. So he's seen some pretty scary stuff. Sometimes he tells me about it, and I have to say, stop, I can't. I'll never be able to get that picture out of my head. I can't. Look, I don't want to hear it. But those guys are brave, and they work really hard. So I just get to listen to their stories and then pretend, which is, yeah.
Do you have any time for sports, hobbies, whatever?
I work out. I do yoga. I like to hike. You know, I have a 4.5-year-old, so I spend a lot of time. I try to spend a lot of time playing with him, but I definitely work out. I don't do sports so much, but I'm into hiking, working out with my trainer, trying to do yoga. I'm not very good at it, but I try. I try really, really hard. There are people who can put their legs behind their ears. I am not that person, but I really, really work at it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Okay. Have you any part you would love to play?
You know, I never know it until I read it. I mean, I always like playing. I think I'm drawn to women who exist in male worlds, you know, women who are tough and strong and break the rules. I think that's why I play so many cops. And I played Marilyn Monroe in the miniseries Blonde many years ago, and that was a dream role for me. That was definitely one that I wanted to fulfill. I'd like to do a comedy because I'm always like really serious and killing people and finding dead people, and I was like, God, I'm really not like that in person. So it'd be fun to do something funny and light one time. I think it'd be cool to try that.
Okay. Have you got any funny story of the shooting?
Oh my God. Wow.
Maybe a lot.
Maybe a lot, and maybe ones that I think are funny, but if I tell them, no one else is going to think they're funny. Yeah, you know those ones? It's like, it probably won't sound funny. But we have a really good time on the set, and we laugh a lot. And Jane Curtin from Saturday Night Live and Kate and Allie, brilliant comedian, she's joined the show as well. She joins about halfway through the first season, and she's playing the medical examiner, and she's extremely funny and charming, and she makes me laugh a lot. So I like having her on the show as well.
Okay. I guess
that's it. We did it. Oh my God, look at that timer and everything. You're like, I was fast.
Unforgettable, die neue Crime-Serie mit Poppy Montgomery, startet am 11. Oktober 2012 um 22:15 Uhr in Sat.1.